Assuming we're live. What is up, wrestling friends? This is AWW Radio live on Facebook. Welcome. I'm here with my co-host, my brother from the same mother, Ben Lewandowski.
Hey, what do I say? Derek, actually,
Let's do it, man. Oh my
do
God.
I say, hey, peeps?
I thought we were past this, all right? We agreed it sucked, but we also agreed it was so bad that, like, it was good. You know how things like there's movies that are so bad that they're good? Like,
True.
that your greeting is like that. It's so
Attack
bad.
of the Killer Tomatoes.
Killer Tomatoes, Sharknado, your greeting.
All right. Hey, peeps.
All
What's
right.
happening?
Thanks, Ben. So, as you can see, well, not yet, maybe in a moment. Here we go. As you can see, we have a guest with us today. We want to welcome North Central coach Joe Norton. Joe, welcome.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Joe is he's been the men's coach at North Central since 2014. Joe and the program there added women's wrestling. It was announced in May of 2018, I think you said, and added in 2019. So they're just coming off their first year. Had a great year. You had 5 All-Americans. You finished ranked number 7 in the NWCA poll for NCAA schools. Coach, you got to be feeling good about your year.
Yeah, it was a strong finish, especially. We only took 8 girls to the tournament, and all 8 of them would have gone on the podium, but you feel good about 5 of them in year one for sure.
And 2 in the finals, right?
Yeah, 2 in the finals. We'd love to have both of those back. They both lost, but it was fun. Yeah,
it was great to watch your program this year, and I think your program definitely is evidence for the fact that if you have, commitment as a program, good coaching, and some good recruits, you can make your mark right away.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to have a few girls that can come in and compete right away. But the biggest thing I think that we have is just administrative support for the sport of wrestling at North Central, and that's a big part of it. If they're going to give you the resources that you need, you can be darn good right away in this racket. And I think we showed that. I think a couple other schools showed that as well. So it was good for year one for sure.
So, some schools, start with a club and then move to a full-fledged program, but you had the admin support right away to go, right to having a full-fledged women's program. Yeah.
We talked through it. The club route was never really even something that we discussed. Actually, our athletic director at North Central was previously the head wrestling coach. So he coached wrestling at North Central for 19 years. So he's a guy that gets it. I know most wrestling coaches don't have that luxury of an AD that understands wrestling. He did it himself for a long time. So
he was your
we
coach.
Talked through it. What's that?
He was your coach.
He was not. He actually became the AD in 2005, and I was a freshman at North Central in 2006 when I got here. So he had just become the AD. I wrestled for the first coach that he hired right out. So
fun.
So you wrestled 2006 through 2010, and then you immediately became a grad assistant coach. And
yeah. I was an assistant coach for 3 years at North Central, 2 as a GA, and then 1 kind of just as a part-time assistant. And then I got hired for 1 year at a school down in Southwest Illinois, I guess is how I would describe it, called Knox College. I was there for a year before they brought me back as the head coach at North Central.
Okay, great. So you've been at the helm there since 2014. Now, we got to keep our traditions. Coach Joe, you're familiar enough with our show to know that we've got traditions, right? And we have some fun. So I hope you're prepared to, take a few curveballs today.
I love having fun. That sounds good.
All right, good. So this is our 28th show, and since we got in this, higher numbers, we've been using the alphabetical orders of states, and the 28th state is Nevada. So we try to make a wrestling connection with Nevada. Got to be honest, pretty hard for us out in New York to do that. I never wrestled anybody from Nevada.
I never wrestled anybody from out of the county because I never made it out of the county.
Yeah, but we've established that you were the okayest wrestler ever to come out of Section 2 in New York.
True.
Do you want to relive the glory days at all? Like, Ben, what would it have taken for you to go to win states, to move from being an average Schoharie County wrestler to being like a state champion?
What would it have taken?
Yeah.
Probably some diligence on my part to learn wrestling. I will say I might have been ranked the 28th wrestler in the county.
Okay, at your weight.
There was 23 wrestlers, but I may have been ranked 28th, which is awesome.
All right, well, that's a good connection to the number 28. Coach Joe, you have any connections with Nevada?
No, I mean, we wrestle there almost every year with our men's team. We go down there for the desert duels down actually in the ballroom at the Flamingo Hotel. That's always a fun trip that we take. I was there for the World Championships in 2015. I've been there for the US Open, but that's probably, I don't know. I mean, I don't really go to Nevada unless it's to go to Las Vegas for a wrestling tournament. So
2015, that's right. We had the World Championships there. We had 3 medalists there for women. That was where Helen Maroulis won gold. Adeline Gray won one of her 5 golds. And then Lee James won a bronze there.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, some good wrestling connections there. My only wrestling connection is probably, I remember we went to New Way Summer Nationals, and I brought my son, Reese, who's now a varsity wrestler, but when he was in youth, he wrestled some kid who was a Reno World Champion, and I think that's Nevada, right? Reno, Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Anyway, he got smashed. Yeah. He got wrecked by this kid. You hear Parkins from Dark Knights. I think he's grown up to be some kind of, stud at the next level, but that's my connection.
Well, the only connection I have isn't, it's not ever wrestling related. It's Miami Dolphins related.
Okay, folks, here we go. This is our weekly Miami Dolphins update as Ben once again forces the Miami Dolphins into the conversation on a women's wrestling podcast. Ben?
Bobby McCain, number 28, nickel corner for the Dolphins.
All right. Thanks for that, Ben. Back to wrestling. Coach Joe, when we were setting up this interview, the one thing that you and I are both hesitant about is this is a sad day, right?
This is a sad day. We're supposed to be down in Texas now, getting ready to go for try and get some girls on world teams, right? And that's something that we're looking forward to, and something that we talk with our girls about quite a bit. So yeah, I know when you threw this date out, that's when I first looked at my calendar. That was the first thing I saw. So yeah, it's a bummer of a day for that reason.
Yeah, I got up this morning, looked at my calendar, and saw Body Bar U23, and my daughter Joy, who wrestles for McKendree, is at the other end of the house eating snacks right now. So it's tough, but hopefully they're going to reschedule that stuff. And I know there's conversations to be had around that, as in some ways they have to take their cues from what's going on in society, but hopefully we can redeem some of that.
Yeah.
So how are you and your team, doing in light of and during the quarantine?
I think we're doing all right. We actually just finished our semester. So our guys and girls finished up their finals last week. So actually we just got final grades yesterday. So kind of pouring through some of those and seeing who did well, who did not so well. For the most part, our ladies did very, very well this semester. So that's awesome. And then just communicating with them about what they're able to do. Some have access, to a home gym sort of thing, or somebody in their family has a home gym sort of thing. And some are like me, where they're relegated to just going out and doing as many push-ups as they can do. Right. So, we're in talks about, what we're doing and making sure that we're staying motivated and seeing, what other girls from other teams are doing, and maybe posting on social media. And that's a good way to stay motivated. So we're doing our best.
How did you get involved in women's wrestling? You hear some male coaches who their beginning was actually with some hesitation and skepticism. Is that your story, or were you enthusiastic?
Yeah.
To start?
I was pretty fired up about it. Our story is a funny one, actually. We added women's bowling at North Central College in 2016. And so when we added it was shortly after the Rio Olympics had happened. And I have just him being a wrestling guy, especially, I have a strong relationship with my AD, but a few of the coaches and him lift weights a couple times a week. And I was just kind of making jokes at the time, like, what the heck are we doing adding women's bowling when we could be adding women's wrestling, right? And really totally in jest, to at least right to begin with. And he kind of perked up and was like, oh, kind of started that whole conversation. And at the time, Haley Aguello was on had just made the Olympic team. And Haley was at King at the time, but she's actually from Lockport, Illinois, which is 20 minutes from our campus.
Okay.
So the point I made to him was, hey man, there could be opportunities for girls that are from Illinois. Obviously McKendree's in Illinois, McMurray's in Illinois, but in the Chicagoland area, there were no real options for girls. someone like Haley's over in Tennessee, and maybe we could have had an opportunity for someone from this area like that. And it wasn't long after that he came back to me and said, hey, we had some conversations at a higher level, and is that something that you'd really want to pursue? And I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So it kind of really steamrolled from there. But that's how it all kind of came about. Yeah.
That's awesome. What a cool story.
Yeah.
So important to have, as you already mentioned, to have that support, from the administration, that's got to make such a difference, in establishing healthy programs and, getting the resources you need.
Yeah.
Did you, once you decided to have the program, how did recruiting look? Did you get out right away and just start making calls locally? I mean, how did that work out for you?
Yeah, actually, when we sat down and made the decision that we were going to do it, was midweek, and that weekend was the Illinois Freestyle State Tournament, which is down in Champaign at the University of Illinois. And so I was actually down there that weekend recruiting girls before we had even announced it. It wasn't announced until Monday on our website, but I'm down there telling people we have women's wrestling. And they're like, no, you don't. So we will on Monday. We will. So that's how I got out right away, started doing it as far as, locally with girls in Illinois. And then it was just hammering the phones, just like we always did with the men's side. But yeah.
Of course, you landed Elena Mccoy, who, quickly became a star in the college scene here this year. She's from California. So how'd you sell that?
Yeah. Well, I actually connected with one of her coaches first, kind of just to inquire about her. So Alex Hedrick, who wrestles at Simon Fraser, her dad was one of Elena's high school coaches. And he had, had obviously great things to say about her as a wrestler, and said she just might have some interest in coming out there, give her a call. So I did. And, from the first conversation that I had with Elena, you could tell that she was motivated to do good things in wrestling. I know one of the first, if not the first conversation I had with her, it was, I want to wrestle in the Olympics. I said, oh, cool. That sounds great. Why don't we come over here and pursue that at North Central College. Right. So, that's what we look for when we're recruiting girls is girls that say that I want to make world and Olympic teams. Right. So, we knew that from a goal standpoint and how driven she was, that she was going to be successful. It obviously helps that she's a supreme talent, right? She's very athletic, very strong, all that stuff. But she was very goal oriented and had some pretty lofty aspirations, and that's where I got really excited about recruiting her for sure.
How does that shape a culture for your women's program to have somebody like that who has those high goals and it has the work ethic and is sort of setting the pace? How does that shape your team and your team's culture?
Well, I think it's very motivating. I think, when someone is winning at a high level and you see them coming in and getting these extra workouts in, and actually like verbalizing something to say, a lot of people maybe don't have the courage to say, like, I want to wrestle in the Olympics someday. Like, I'm actually going to pursue that. And to hear her say that and then see, okay, well, this is a girl, like I said, that's coming in and getting extra workouts in all the time, that isn't afraid to grab one of the coaches and maybe get her butt kicked a little bit here and there, right? Because she knows it's making her better. Then when she goes out and wins, and she won dang near every match she wrestled this year, the other girls are going to see that and they're going to want to do that too. So they're going to start to emulate, they're going to get extra workouts in, and they're going to seek out, challenges in the practice room, and stuff like that. So I think it'll just breed a culture of girls that want to do that.
So talk about your first season, 2019, 2020. Thankfully, you got to compete in a national tournament. I mean, talk about right under the wire. The next week, the NAIA got canceled. So, with our connection to McKendree as a family, we were like, oh, thank God, that they got that in. Yeah. How could you be this successful in year one as a startup? You had 5 All-Americans. Amanda Martinez, Elena Mccoy, Asia, you're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation of her last name.
Yeah, Wen Smith,
okay, and then Malaya Polaniuk,
yep.
And then Angelina Kirkpatrick. 5 All-Americans. You only had 9 on your roster, if I'm counting right, on your website, and then 2 finalists, and then of course ranked number 7 in the NCAA as a program. I mean, how could you do that?
Well, Personally, I think our head assistant coach is the best in the game. So when it comes to teaching wrestling and motivating girls, I think he's a large reason for it. But I think just providing an environment where the girls were motivated to come in and train hard and win. Like from day one, we've said, like, we want to win here, right? You know, a lot of it is about the other stuff that we always talk about, you know, developing like leadership skills and learning to take direction and meet deadlines and all the stuff that's going to matter in your life long after wrestling's over, right? But when we hold girls to that standard, I think, you know, and they actually are receptive to it. You know, that group of 9 girls, they came in every day and just worked so freaking hard for us that it made it easy. It made it easy. I mean, it's not easy to go out and have 5 All-Americans. It's not, you know, it's not easy to take 6th in the country your first year as a program. I don't mean to paint it like it was super easy sailing the whole way, but each individual girl did her part, and that, you know, as a whole made it fun and made it pretty easy, I would say.
Talk about your approach to competition as far as getting your women ready to compete in the postseason. You know, you did some of the tougher events. You had at least one wrestler at senior nationals. How does that play into getting your women ready and developing them, you know, as wrestlers?
Yeah, well, we've always had that same approach on the men's side too. We're going to seek out the toughest competition. You know, we want to put you in big time situations where you're stepping on the mat and your heart's racing and maybe you're the underdog. You know, because I think that the more times we present them with those opportunities, then the more comfortable they're going to be the next time they're in that position. You know, so we went to the Moval, and that was an eye opener for us. I mean, that tournament is unreal, right? On top of getting done at 9:30 at night, right? And then driving home from Marshall, Missouri, right? It's a long day, but it's a tough day. And like, I don't think I even fully understood what we were getting into when we went to that event. And then obviously, you know, going to the national duels, we went to the Bearcat Open, right? So, I mean, we wrestled about as tough of a schedule as these girls could have wrestled, you know, going into the national tournament. And I felt like they were just prepared, you know. Even Elena, she had wrestled, you know, from going to senior nationals and, you know, seeing the girls that she saw at the Moval and then even at the national duels, she was ready to go, you know, even against some of the best girls in the country.
The Moval, I don't know if anybody was prepared. Sorry, Ben, I'll let you jump in here in a second. I don't know if anybody was prepared for what happened, you know, as far as competition level there. I mean, really, you can make the case that was this year's multi-divisional nationals, right?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. As far as if you just look at the list of teams that were there. I mean, it's unreal. Menlo was there and Campbellsville was there and Life and McKendree. I would say the only top-notch team maybe that wasn't there would have been Simon Fraser, right? As far as a team that finished in the top 5 in one of the national tournaments.
I was just going to ask, what do you think duels, what role do you think duels could play or do play in the growth of women's college wrestling?
I think they're huge. You know, I think they're huge, especially for the more casual fan that maybe doesn't have a huge background in wrestling. I know my wife says that, and she didn't know the first thing about wrestling before she met me, that you ask someone that doesn't have a large background in wrestling to sit at a tournament for 10 hours, in the case of the Moval for 12 hours. And maybe you got 3 different girls wrestling at the same time. And it's hard to follow, especially maybe when you don't understand the sport fully, versus sitting there for an hour and a half duel. And there's only one thing going on at a time. I think it's easier for people to understand. And I think that's going to grow our fan base. And that's really what we need to do to make this thing grow.
All right, Coach. So you know that, you know, our show is not just an interview. It's a game show as well.
Right.
Okay, so it's that time. We're going to take a little break from the interview and have our first segment. Now, have you seen the movie Vision Quest?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. Because you are going to have a trivia battle against
man.
brother
Okay.
here.
Now, I remember when you guys did your episode, it was either right before or right after the senior nationals, and you were talking about how many people just entered that maybe you hadn't heard of. I know there was talk of whether Ben would join or would wrestle and what his entrance music would be. And I know I suggested to you guys on Twitter that Lunatic Fringe was the perfect choice. So
that would be.
Absolutely.
Except I don't think we want to see him with his shirt off.
I won't comment on that, but
yeah.
It's been a number of years since I've seen Vision Quest, so I can't say I'm overly confident, but I'm going to give it.
That's fine. And Ben, what was the name of that guy that wrestled Colin Moore at Senior Nationals? Like,
I can't remember his name right now, Derek.
Hinckley, maybe.
What's that?
Hinckley.
Oh, Hinckley. Yeah, maybe Hinckley sounds right.
Yeah, I think David Bray from FRL said he was like Tony Rotundo's plumber or something like that. But hey, you can make a comeback, Ben.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
Lunatic Fringe. Maybe you'll draw Hinckley next year and get a W at Senior Nationals.
I'm pretty sure he'd take me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he'd take me.
All right, so here's what's on the line.
Okay. Hey.
Crayon rings.
Wow, where'd you get those?
Jack makes them for our show, my son Jack. I pay him $1 a ring. That is what's on the line. Ben, you do not have one yet, and I know Coach Joe doesn't, so whoever wins this is going to get a crayon ring.
Put one on. Let me see what it looks like.
Okay. What's great about it is, see, you could just be like talking in an interview like, hey, I'm talking, and then all of a sudden you could be like, I feel like coloring, and then like you could just color.
Multicoloring. That's amazing.
Yeah, okay, so here we go.
All right.
Vision Quest Trivia, Coach Joe Norton from North Central against Bleacher Brother Ben. Here we go.
Well, how are we supposed to answer this? We're supposed to like
No. I'm gonna go one at a time, and you could steal a point though if he doesn't get it right. You have a chance to answer it. Okay.
All right, I'll try.
All right. So we're gonna start with our guest, Coach Joe. First question. The movie Vision Quest includes an appearance by what eventually famous pop star singing a song at a local bar?
I got nothing.
Okay. It goes to Ben. Ben, are you going to steal the point?
Madonna.
It is Madonna.
I feel like it's painfully obvious.
All right. This one's for you, Ben.
All right.
Now, can I give a little disclaimer to this?
Sure.
Ben actually texted me before the show, Coach, and he goes, what's this in there about Vision Quest? I said, I'm not telling you because you're going to go against Coach Joe. So I'm guessing.
I don't have any notes on Vision Quest.
I know that you did some research on the movie since that text.
Listen,
admit it, Ben.
Well, I'm going to listen. Okay, I admit it. All right. Yeah.
There it is.
Wait a second. Hold on. So we're talking about winning, right? And how important it is to win. And Coach, you got to just fight for it. Last night at the dinner table, my 2-year-old son sits next to me, and I had a piece of chicken that had a massive amount of Red Hot on it. And I said, you want some Red Hot spicy sauce? And he goes, no, he makes his face. No. I said, if you don't eat it, you don't win. He immediately just opened up and just ate it, bro. Oh, my wife was not too happy. He was crying. But that's the kind of thing. I didn't do a lot of research, but I may have watched the movie.
All right. Depending on how this goes, I may dock you some points, but we'll see. Okay, Ben, here's your question. What was the name of Loudon Swain's best friend?
We're not talking the girl, right?
Mm-mm. Different kind of best friend.
I don't know.
Okay, moves to Coach Joe. Coach?
I can't even.
Can you give us a hint?
It rhymes with hooch.
Dominic?
What?
I'm not a poet.
Cooch. The answer was Cooch.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. Coach Joe, back to you. What was the first and last name of the state champ that Loudon Swain wanted to wrestle in the movie?
First name.
I'll give you a point if you can get any part of this.
Well, it's shoot, but I can't remember the first name.
I know the first name, and I knew this not because I studied, for the record.
Okay, go ahead.
Brian
Shoot.
Yeah.
That is correct. I will give each of you a point for that, and it goes back to Ben.
All right, come on.
Okay, Vision Quest trivia. Here we go. What weight was Loudon Swain cutting down to wrestle Shoot? Five seconds.
171, 170, somewhere around 170.
Incorrect. Goes back to Coach Joe.
This is probably wrong, but I feel like I want to say 168.
Yes, he got it right. 168.
I have no idea how that was somewhere in my brain.
Is the correct answer. It's 2-2. Swings back to Ben. What?
Wait, back to me.
The weight that Loudon Swain wrestled the previous season. What was he coming down from?
You asking me or Coach?
You, Ben. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're up, Ben. That's right.
No, well, that started with me, and I didn't know the answer. I said 170, and then he stole it from me.
Okay, Coach, he's right. It's you. You get the first crack at this one.
So what was he coming down from?
Yeah.
180.
Incorrect.
I think it was 190, wasn't it?
Correct.
Because it was two weight
190.
class. Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Ben, if you beat Coach Joe, are you going to count this on your lifetime wins?
Absolutely.
Like wrestling?
Damn.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, Ben, this is you. What was the name of the actor that played the role of Loudon Swain?
Matthew Modine.
Yes, sir, it was
Yes.
Matthew Modine. Back to Coach Joe. Vision Quest trivia. What popular Netflix TV series was Matthew Modine recently in playing the villain scientist?
Stranger Things.
Yes, correct.
Hey, that was a really high level of energy for his correct answer, Derek.
Okay, you want me to be honest?
What?
I'm rooting for him.
What?
I don't know. He's our guest. I want him to win. You cheated. You did research.
And I did not do a lot of research, but I did.
You did a lot of is what I'm concerned about here. Okay.
Oh, I've gotten some wrong. I didn't do
Docking you points is still a possibility. Here we go. Okay, Ben, back to you. What move did Loudon Swain use to pin Brian Shute?
He threw him, right? He did like a hip toss or something.
That is correct. I will accept that answer.
All right.
It was sort of a lat drop hip toss.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, back to Coach Joe. What did Loudon Swain climb in the wrestling room that won his team over?
That pegboard thing.
Yes, sir, it was a pegboard. The score is 5-4. Wait, what is?
No, you know where I am. I had a pegboard back here, but it's not there.
Yeah, we don't need to see the pegboard, Ben.
Okay.
You're like the little boy who made a model car and wants to show his uncle when he shows up.
I did make a model car.
Knock it off. Okay, Ben, back to you.
All right.
And this
I got it. I'm gonna win.
What was the name of the theme song in the locker room before the match when he wrestled Shute?
That was my mind just went.
Are you serious?
3 seconds.
My mind's literally blank right now.
Time.
Oh, it's literally.
Go.
Lunatic Fringe.
Lunatic Fringe. All right.
It literally just went totally like blank, and that was
okay, Ben. It's okay.
You just lost the right to have that be your walkout song at Senior Nationals.
Yeah, you got to pick something else, Ben. Like, don't worry, be happy. One of those, something like that. Okay, back to you, Ben. Just a couple more questions. Ben, where did Loudon Swain work?
in his hometown.
Not detailed enough. Any more detail? Back to Coach Joe.
He worked at a restaurant. Bar.
I will accept that.
Oh, come on.
He did room service in a hotel.
How can you possibly accept that, bro? You're a terrible ref.
Because it was in the same line. Are you throwing the brick, Ben?
I'm throwing the brick. This is ridiculous. Bring in Heidi.
I'm going to get my son Reese over here.
Okay. Oh, Reese. Yeah.
Reese. This is the guy that got killed by that Tahir Parkins kid at Summer Nationals. Anyway, so the question was...
Yeah, don't tell him who answered. Let's just see if...
Where does Loudon Swain work? In Vision Quest? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, he did room service for a hotel.
Okay.
The answer was he worked in a restaurant. Do you accept that answer?
No.
That's fair. That's fair. I couldn't take that point.
Ben, you see this guy? If you ever want to wrestle in college, you will not be allowed to go to North Central because you just took a point away from him. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Whose turn is it? We got
my turn.
More. Who?
Oh no, I started that one. It's Joe's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach Joe. What was the name?
That question was for me, wasn't it? The last one?
No, because I said a town.
I got you. Okay.
What was the name of the Madonna song she sang in the bar? You haven't done well with these Madonna questions.
I'm gonna be pretty lame on this answer too if I have to steal, bro, because I can't remember.
I got nothing.
I couldn't remember Lunatic Fringe. I mean, my mind went blank anyways. So
you're using your 5 seconds to monologue, Ben. Time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one of you can steal this. I'm going to give you the melody, and if whoever raises their hand first, here goes. Da na 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 na. Na 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 na. Da, da, da. No. Crazy for you. Crazy.
Oh, that was a waste of 10 seconds.
Okay. Going back to, is this Coach Joe, Ben?
Yeah, no, this is me. This is my
You.
turn.
What name did Shoot call Swain in the locker room?
Loser.
Incorrect. I'll give you a hint. It was after he watched him wrestle a match that he had to forfeit.
Fish.
No.
Okay. It's not my turn anymore, is it?
Coach Joe, and
What name did he call in the locker room?
he said, I'll give you a hint.
How
You
can you
said-
keep giving him hints?
Hey, who's Ben? Are you in charge here? Like, here, you want to take over the show? Here, take over the show, Ben. All right.
Nice
He
promo.
called
Go ahead.
him a bleeder.
A bleeder.
Oh, his nose was bleeding all
Yeah,
the
his
time,
nose is
wasn't
bleeding.
it? Well, that's because he was sucking a lot.
Okay,
of
listen, it's 5-5. We got two more questions. Ben, it's back to you. Here we go. In the famous stadium scene,
Yep.
what exercise was Shoot doing when Swain and Cooch saw him?
Pull-ups.
In a stadium?
I'm picturing Ivan Drago in
No.
Rocky all of a sudden. Like I'm picturing running
No,
around.
that is incorrect. Coach Joe.
He was carrying a log up the
Oh,
street.
come on.
Yes, he was carrying a log. That is correct.
What am I
Okay.
thinking?
Okay, this is back to Coach Joe. He could win the game here if he answers this right and walk away with this. Okay, here we go. In that stadium, when Shoot asked Swain, "You think you'll make the weight?" Swain said, "I don't know, hope so." What was Shoot's reply?
I hope so too.
Yes, and with the win over Ben, Ben gets another loss on his lifetime wrestling record against Coach Joe Norton from
Oh.
Central. Congratulations, Coach. You win the crayon ring.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I knew the pressure was on because I watched both Kennedy and Carino win one,
Yeah.
and they come up to they used to come up to our room before it was closed. But I know the next time they come up, they'll be bringing them, and they'd be talking trash if I didn't win one. So
They are in the mail. Yeah, and if you didn't have one, that would be humiliating for you.
Hey, you know what? I just thought of something. I don't want one of those dumb rings. You tell Jack, keep them.
Hey,
I don't want one of Jack's rings.
you're breaking the heart of your nephew. You're a terrible uncle.
Hey, actually, this is all seriousness. Send me your address. I have something I want to send Reese. In all seriousness. Is he right
Okay.
there?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, I won't tell him what it is.
All right, yeah, we'll get on top of that after the show.
and you don't know your brother's address?
I actually do. I just remember when I said it, but it reminded me that I had something to send. It's been around for a while.
It's probably going to be something from his front yard,
Oh,
something that an animal left there. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. Let's
Dig
get serious. Let's get back to the interview. And I do want to welcome, we got a number of people watching online. We welcome all our online viewers. Feel free to ask Coach Joe any questions. Billy Cox is watching. He says, I'm from Nevada. So there's a
Hey.
connection there. We have a sad emoji about Body Bar. And looks like one of our viewers agrees that it was not a restaurant. So, okay.
all right.
And your sister-in-law, Ben, says, cheaters never prosper, Ben.
Wait a second. How can you say I cheated? Nobody told me what we were doing on the show. You just mentioned it.
Okay, look, you had like a half an hour, and I know you spent probably 28 or 29 of those minutes researching Vision Quest because you wanted to beat Coach Joe to get your record above 500 lifetime wrestling. First of all, you didn't beat him. Second of all, this isn't a wrestling match. Third of all, that is by definition cheating.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to the interview. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Here we go. I want to talk about Elena Mccoy, Coach. Were you surprised by her early success? You know, when we went to the Moval, right away she beats Jessica Roddier, the 2017 WCWA champion at the Missouri Valley Open. That turned some heads. Did that turn your head?
I don't think so. I was excited. I knew going into the match who Jessica was. I don't think Elena knew, which was good. I didn't want her to know. But Yeah, I don't think I was surprised. I think we knew she was special after about 2 weeks of wrestling with her and watching her wrestle. I expected her to win that match. I really did. And it was close, but she won.
It was 7-5, I think.
Yeah.
And then they hit again in the duel you had.
Yeah.
And Elena handled her again, and you talked about wanting to get a match back, the finals match at NCWWC. It didn't go Elena's way, but
right.
Little rivalry there.
Yeah, it was close in the first one, 7-5 at Moval, and then Elena actually tech-falled her in the dual meet in February, and then she got tech-falled in the finals at the national tournament. So, yeah, it was a little bit back and forth for sure.
What was it like going to the senior nationals with Elena? Not only to do it, but she finished 5th, yeah, and qualified?
Right, yeah. Coach Cook actually took her there, our head assistant coach. So I was in Las Vegas with our men's team at the Desert Duels. So Coach Cook went down there with her, and Coach Brittany is our assistant coach, who actually wrestled in the tournament as well. So they both competed at 76. Coach Cook went down there, and I mean, that was kind of, you could say, Moval was maybe Elena's coming out party, but that was when I think other people really realized she's here, she's a player in this game, and she's going to beat really, really good girls. But I was not there, but I know Coach Cook was pretty fired up. I was getting updates constantly, and we were watching obviously every match live as it happened. We were pretty fortunate that none of our duels were going on during any of her matches, but I know that it was a great experience for her. I just wanted her to go down there and compete, and hope that she did well, but she rocked it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to qualify at the senior level, as a freshman, I mean, it speaks on its own. It was a great accomplishment, and we look forward to watching her wrestle at the Olympic team trials. How's recruiting going? Looking into the coming year.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. So we return all 9 girls from last year coming back. We actually have 10 because we picked up a girl on campus that wants to give it a shot. So I guess you could say 10 returners. And there are 16 2020s as of right now that are committed for next year. And I don't think we're quite done yet. I think we'll get to 18 or 19, in next year's first year class.
Recruits or roster?
What's that?
You'll get to 18 or 19 recruits or total roster?
Recruits.
Wow, that's going to triple your team size.
Yeah, I think our roster will be somewhere in the 27 to 28 range to start the year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going very well, very well. Some girls from, we did a Zoom call with all of them, the returners and the new girls, and one of them asked, how many different states are we represented by now? And I hadn't really counted before that, but we'll have 10 different states represented on the team. So we're excited about girls from all over.
I would imagine that having that room filled with that much talent will really help just the practices and build the team. It just really creates a lot of internal growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And just more partners. I mean, with 9 girls in the room, and we have a young coaching staff, that we all lace them up and wrestle every day. But I know they're excited to just wrestle different people in practice too, for sure.
Coach, as the overseer of the men's and women's program, how does that work together for you? I know, each college program treats that differently. Do you merge those practices at all? Do they interact at all? How's that worked out?
We don't merge practices. We have separate practices every day. We run them back to back. So we'll do the women and then the men every day. But, I think it's important for us to keep them separate largely folk style versus freestyle first off. But, we wanted the girls to have all of our attention when it's time for them to practice. And we want the guys to have all of our attention when it's time for them to practice. Yeah. We did a really good job with it. I think, like I said, I think I have the best assistant coach in the game, and we have eight assistants total on staff. So a lot of coaches in practice every day, which makes it easier to manage, right, than if it was just me by myself, certainly. But, it's about, we run on coffee, it's 4 hours straight from when the girls' practice starts to when the guys' practice ends, but like I said, we're a young and energetic group. So we love every minute of it, man. It's the toughest part is probably competitions and making sure that we never have to be in 2 places at once. Right.
Yeah.
The daily practice stuff is, if you love wrestling as much as we do, that stuff's pretty easy.
Yeah. Got a question coming in from our online audience. This is from Billy Cox. from Utah. His daughter is going to McKendree next year. He writes, should there be more scholarships offered for wrestling? Follow up, if you're at a school that can't offer athletic scholarships, should they be allowed?
Do I think there should be more scholarships offered? Well, we're a Division III school, so we don't offer athletic scholarships at all. So I guess I don't know how many are offered. I know that D2 schools and NAIA schools can offer them, but I don't know, like say, McKendree is a Division II school. I don't know what they have for scholarships. I don't know how many they have to offer. I think there should always be more opportunities for women though. So, and I think scholarships create that, right? We don't have them. I think we've shown in the recruiting game that we can compete despite that, right? North Central does a very good job with academic scholarships, right? Every girl on our roster, a guy on our men's team has probably at least minimum 19,000 in an academic scholarship, right? Whereas maybe an athletic scholarship from another school is, in the 9, 10, 11,000 range. So, we don't really have to deal with that. I kind of like it that way personally. I don't have to, pick and choose who I'm offering money to. I don't decide how much money people get. Right. But I think it shows that the girls that are choosing North Central, they really believe in what we're doing. Right. Because they're not coming here for an athletic scholarship. Obviously there's some academic money on the table that they earned through good grades or a solid test score for sure. But none of them are coming here because I'm saying, hey, here's a wrestling scholarship because I want you to come here and wrestle for me. They're just believing, buying what we're selling. So.
Well, and that speaks to the, how important it is for the women to work hard academically to set themselves up to get some of that academic scholarship money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's something that is, I shouldn't say misunderstood, but not as understood as much as it should be. There are academic scholarships out there that will far outweigh your wrestling scholarship. If you're coming out with a 3.5, 3.6 GPA, even if your test score is not that good, some people may think, well, I'm just not that smart. I'm just not going to score that high on the SAT or the ACT. We give large academic scholarships for a guy or a girl with a solid GPA, even if the test score isn't all that impressive, because it shows that you're a good student and you're going to take care of your stuff on the academic side.
Hey, I got a quick question, Derek, real quick before, I don't know if you're going to go to a segment or what you're going to do, but I had a question just about men's wrestling for you. Any big highlights? I'm sure, the women's wrestling is a really unique niche right now and what you're doing. It's awesome. Any highlights just from the men's team that has been fun for you? I just don't know much about North Central Colleges.
Yeah, we had a great year on the men's side as well. We finished the year. We were actually at our NCAA tournament. So a week after the women's nationals was the men's. So it was out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We were there and we were about 15 hours from weigh-ins when they canceled the tournament. We'd already been there for 2 days, practiced in the arena for 2 days.
I didn't realize that happened to you.
Yeah, but we had 5 guys there, which was the most we've ever qualified, in the history of our program. We finished the year ranked 8th in the country.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I think we would have finished higher than 8th if we got to wrestle out the tournament, but I guess we'll never know that. But it was a great year for sure. I mean, 5, they were voted on All-Americans, but 5 All-Americans is the most we've ever had, in the history of our program for sure. So it was fun.
Talk about Amanda Martinez. She was a transfer from the Lindenwood Belleville, the program that shut down. Is that right?
Yeah.
She came in as a junior, had a great year, looked really tough, at nationals. Can you talk about her?
Yeah, she's a rock star, man. She's exactly what this program needed in terms of a girl that's wrestled in college before, right? We had a little bit of that with Coach Brittany, our assistant coach, for sure, but not on the team, right? And so she just was able to provide so much leadership. And I mean, 9 years of coaching college wrestling up to this point, and all my guys and now a year of coaching girls, someone that is that dedicated, it's just so hard to come by. I mean, that girl just wants to do everything right and she'll hang on every word. I mean, there was one day she wanted to watch film and I looked at my calendar and it was full. I said, Amanda, the only time I can watch film is 6 a.m. And she was there and I made us both a cup of coffee and we watched film, because she just wants to win that badly. Right. She made tremendous jumps from, I think she went 2-2 at the national tournament last year as a sophomore. I looked up her freshman year record, and she only won a couple matches.
Hmm.
You know, and then obviously won a couple matches at the national tournament as a sophomore. But this year, I mean, storming to the finals, like beating girls. She beat a girl in the semis that has tech fauled her in the past at her, at the previous school that she was at, and some big time names that she beat, and she was not a big time name coming out, right, in terms of being recruited or any of that. But yeah, I think we just got her into a scenario that was good for her. She had a great training partner with Asia. They weigh about the exact same, and they were in there, and they're both just killers, just beating each other up every day. And I think that she got a lot better from when she first got here to where she was at the national tournament. I'd love to have that last match back. I know that she would too, but she's got one more year. And I think with Alexia Ward graduating, Amanda's going to be the favorite to win it. Right.
Yeah,
and our job is to make sure we get her there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we got one more fun segment here, then a couple more questions. And again, anybody watching online, feel free to add to those questions as we close out the interview in just a minute here. But first, this segment is called How Well Do You Know Elena Mccoy?
Wait, am I competing against this segment?
No, you're not. Just
Okay, good. This is just for Coach Joe, because I don't know you laid him at all.
No, you would definitely lose that, Ben. I'm
like
not going to put you through that. We're going to see how well he knows his athlete. Here we go. Question number 1. What was the name of Elena's high school in California?
Bella Vista.
Yes, sir. Got it. Question number 2. What was the name of her hometown?
Orangevale.
Right on. This guy's as good as Google. Number 3. What was her record this year as a freshman?
Okay.
He's got limits of fringe.
I could tell you how many losses she had, but
Okay.
her overall record, I'm going to guess. We're not counting senior nationals, right? We're counting the college season.
I'm counting what's on your website, bro.
Well, she had 3 losses. I'm going to guess she was 27-3.
26. All right. Okay.
That was good.
How many pins did she have?
Oh my gosh, a lot. So she had 26 wins. I want to bet she had 12 pins.
Now, this is freestyle, right? So she probably got a lot of tech falls before the pin happened. She had 9.
Okay.
She had 9. What is Elena Mccoy's major?
She came in as a music major. I believe she has since changed it to German. But what's listed on the website is probably music.
Incorrect. She is undeclared.
Ah,
That was a
she
trick
probably just
question.
hasn't gone to the registrar and turned in the paperwork yet.
I would think that he might know more about that than.
No, it's official. I read it online.
Okay, yeah, the internet's always right.
Yeah, it's official. What was the score when McCoy had beat Jessica Rodier in the duel February 18th?
Well, she teched her, but I don't. 11-0.
Incorrect.
Do you even watch these matches?
What's that?
I said, does he even watch these
I don't
matches?
know.
I mean,
does she actually wrestle for them? Do you ever attend practices or watch duels or anything?
Only when I'm free.
All right, here we go.
Only what was the score?
Ben's just.
Wait, do I get it? Wait.
Beat him in the Vision Quest trivia.
Wait a second. Can you give me a point for everything he gets wrong? So like I can, if like he gets it wrong, I get a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the score? 11-0.
Yes.
Oh, it was 12-2.
Yeah.
12-2. I didn't know she gave up points in that match.
Yeah. What place did McCoy get at the Missouri Valley Open?
3rd.
Yes.
What's the score?
4-3. You, Ben.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to count this on your lifetime wrestling record, Ben? Okay. Who did McCoy beat by tech fall in the 3rd place match at the Missouri Valley Open?
Hannah Gladden.
Yes, correct. The score is tied 4-4. What instrument does Elena play very well?
Piano.
Yes.
Very, very, very well.
What was one of her favorite pieces that she performed on her Instagram?
Oh my gosh. Something by Mozart.
Is Nocturne by Mozart?
There's 100 nocturnes.
Oh. My wife, who's a music major, says there's 100 nocturnes. There was 100 answers for that, and you didn't get any of them. It's 5-5.
Yes.
Mozart, I don't know.
Another
Okay.
one from me.
Who did Mccoy beat in the finals at the Bearcat Open, or did lose to? She lost
the finals at the Bearcat Open to Corey Bullock.
Yes, 6-5. What place did Elena get at the Adrian Open? For those of you that are listening on the podcast, Ben has one of those flip scoreboards, and he's actually keeping score.
Oh, wait, who's got 6?
He does.
Oh, okay. Oh, no,
That's okay.
okay.
He now has 7, Ben.
No, he didn't.
I just asked him, what place did Elena get at the Adrian Open? Did I ask you that yet?
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't answer yet. She got first.
Yeah, there you go. That's 7, Ben. Who did Mccoy lose to in the NCWWC finals? Easy one.
Jessica Rodier.
Yes. Should be 8-5, Ben. Who beat McCoy at 5-4 in the semis at senior nationals?
Precious Bell.
Yes. He's coming back strong. Who did McCoy beat twice coming from behind at senior nationals to make the top 5?
Olivia Fisk.
Yes. Okay, 2 more. Ben, you've officially lost. Yeah, just
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
What was Yelena's Christmas present when she was 8 years old? I don't know this answer, but if you get it right, it'd be amazing.
It was probably a toy.
Ah, probably was.
You're just trying to get a point, Ben.
No.
All right, finish this sentence of a proverb that Yelena likes to quote. Sometimes you win, sometimes you blank.
Learn.
Yes! Okay, last one. Who was her coach in 2018 that helped her in her first days of wrestling? Hint, his daughter wrestles for SFU.
He doesn't need it.
Pete Hedrick.
He
Pete
already
Hedrick.
said it.
Ben, what's I think final score is you look like Tua there, Ben.
Well, there it is. Come on.
All right, coming into the home stretch, Coach, a few more interview questions. And if anybody else has any questions online, we welcome those as well. Just your thoughts on the growth of NCAA wrestling. Too fast, too slow, just right? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, the competitor in me says too slow. I just want to get there as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just right. I think we need to be careful not to grow too fast to where, teams are having a hard time filling rosters. But I think the rate that we're growing right now is good, is very good.
Okay. Question from our audience. Who is the most interesting person that you beat?
That I beat as a wrestler?
Yeah, in your career.
The most interesting person. Oh, like big name?
Yeah.
Best wrestler that I ever beat was probably BJ Futrell. In high school, I beat BJ.
Oh, wow.
But he kicked my butt 3 times the next year once he actually grew into the weight class. So I can't really count that.
That is very humble of you to give us that full disclosure. But, I don't know if Ben would do that. He'd be like, I beat BJ Futrell. Probably have like a picture of it on his wall.
I'd have a T-shirt.
He was going to do that with you if he'd beaten you in one of these trivia games, but
I still may wear the T-shirt anyways that I made for it, because
yeah, he actually already made the merch, and he's going to have to scrap it now.
I'll wear it. Nobody cares where I live, man. Everybody's gonna be like, "Wow, that's awesome."
Talk about what's your girls, the girls in your room. What's their excitement level about what's happening? We know coaches are trying to move things forward. Are the girls feeling like, boy, this is something I really want to be a part of, an NCAA championship, that type of a thing?
Yeah, they're fired up, man. I just hope that we get there before, by 2023.
Yeah.
For my girls that first came and believed in what we were doing. I want them to wrestle for an NCAA championship, right? That's that's why I say I want this thing to move along for those girls. I want, those girls that were freshmen for us this year to get a chance to do that by the time they're seniors. But I think they're fired up for it. I mean, they're so good about the recruiting process too and helping us out. Hey, meet this girl over lunch, take her for ice cream, hang out in the dorms, whatever. They do such a good job. I think they're just fired up about the direction that we're headed. I think they believe in what we're doing, and that makes us just want to work all that much harder for them, for sure.
Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, this just came in. Do you think you could beat Ben in a match?
Okay, wait a second. I literally saw Heidi write something down. Did Heidi write that question down?
No.
I saw her arm coming like this. I said, there it is. There's the question.
I guess the better question is, what's the over-under, okay? I want you guys to bet on yourselves. Ben, could you last a minute with Coach Joe?
Easy.
Wait, let's say, we talking folk style or freestyle?
Doesn't matter.
MMA, yeah.
I'm pretty solid, and I would just terribly stall as much as I could. I just hold on for dear life.
He would be like one of those, his video would go viral against you because it would be cute, like those little kids who run away from each other down like 3 mats. It'd become one of those videos, but it would be a full-grown man with a beard. Okay.
I would try so hard not to get beat. I got to practice. I'm going to get ready.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could set this up sometime. One final question. How many CCIW College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin schools are there right now with women's programs? And is there any talk or possibility of a conference tournament in the future?
Yeah, so we're getting there. So Carthage College and Carthage and Concordia, Wisconsin will both begin next year.
Oh, they're both newbies. Okay.
Yeah, and then Augustana College will begin the following year.
Oh, wow.
So that will put us at 4. Now Lakeland University is not in our conference. They're an associate member for just wrestling. So
Okay.
you can count Lakeland as well. And I think we will have a women's conference tournament probably by 2022 when Augustana begins, and we would have 5 teams. And I think I know there's talk amongst other schools within the conference of women's wrestling. I know it's coming. We want to get there, like I said, as fast as possible, but that's definitely something we've talked about. Like I said, our athletic director is a former wrestling coach, and that's one of the things that he talked about right away was wanting to be a leader in the conference as far as adding women's wrestling, and others would follow. And that's kind of already what's begun. So we're pretty fired up about the girls being able to wrestle for a conference title, for sure.
If anybody's interested in wrestling for your program, how do they get in touch with you? What's the best contact point?
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Our Instagram is NCC Women's WR. Okay. Coach Brittany and I are on that thing quite a bit. And if anyone's interested, always reach out that way. Otherwise, just go to our website and there's a women's wrestling recruit questionnaire. You can fill that out and we'll give you a call. Just northcentralcardinals.com is the athletic website. Those are probably the 2 best ways. And we're pretty good about getting back with you right away if you show interest.
All right, great. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. Stay safe, stay well. Good luck with your coming season. We're really excited to watch North Central continue to take ground in the college wrestling scene. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
thanks a bunch, guys. Lots of fun. Appreciate it.
You bet. Until next time, we are out.